Hey, humans, how's everybody doing? It's Saturday. I didn't call you bulls and bears today because you're not animals. You are humans. So, hello, humans. Do you like that better, or should I stick with hey, bulls and bears? Please let me know down in the comments. I'll switch it up depending on which side you guys take on that one here. Well, let's talk about what's going on with the warnings from big companies, including Amazon and Wells Fargo, how there's a big slowdown in consumer spending. Now, we know consumers are loaded up on debt. We've got way more debt now than we did before the financial crisis. We've got interest rates that have taken the biggest increase in the shortest amount of time that we've ever seen in the history of the US. They're not the highest interest rates that we've ever seen, but the rate of increase from rock bottom to near zero to where they are now is the biggest increase in the shortest amount of time that we've ever seen. So obviously there's going to be some sort of economic shock with the consumers. We're already seeing it. We're seeing the slowdown in spending. Therefore, a lot of layoffs. Again, layoffs 5 times this year what they were at this point in 2022. So 2023 looks like it's going to be the wild year, the year that everything's falling apart. And of course, we already see what's happening in the banking sector. Deposit outflows. People are starting to realize, that something's hitting the fan this year. But let's first talk about what Wells Fargo said here recently. Monthly data suggests that consumer spending has lost momentum over the past few months. Jay Bryson, Wells Fargo chief economist, said recently, moreover, consumers are relying increasingly on credit and stockpiled cash to finance their purchases. These factors are not sustainable in our view. He continues, quote, we continue to forecast that the U.S. economy will slip into recession, which we expect will be of moderate severity in the second half of the year. Also, a recent report here talks about how Amazon is offering a very downbeat outlook on domestic consumer spending, including also companies like UPS and 3M are basically warning that the consumer is in trouble here. Quote, uncertain economic environment and ongoing inflationary pressures continue to be a factor, and we believe is continuing to drive cautious spending across consumers. That is Amazon CFO said that. This means our customers are looking to stretch their budgets further and are focused on value. Amazon's online store revenue fell by $30 million from the same time 1 year ago. So people, I don't think this is a surprise to anyone here. It's not a surprise to me. It's probably not a surprise to you. The consumer doesn't have an endless debt ceiling to keep on going into debt endlessly. We're going to see a lot of people, and there's already a lot of people underwater on their car loans, on their homes. I see stories all the time about a repossession gone bad now, or somebody got injured, or somebody got worse worse than injured, and people trying to take their vehicle. When you take someone's vehicle, even if they didn't make the payments, even if they're behind on their payments, they get very emotional. That's their job. That's their lifeline typically. So that could be the end of the rope, so to speak, for many people when you take away their vehicle. And especially when you make payments on something for a year or more, and then the vehicle just gets taken away, and they're going to sell it at an auction, and then they're going to bill you for the loss and the auction expenses. It's a big mess. But a lot of people are going to be going through that this year. Now, before we proceed, a quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll get back to the other side here with a lot more important news to get into today.
Noble Gold Investments have made it their mission to stay on top of the most important economic news. 3 bank runs in the last month. These are the second largest and the third largest bank runs in history. The government is taking steps to guarantee all deposits. That means more money printing. Plus, the Fed is sitting on unrealized losses of $1.2 trillion on their $8.3 trillion bond portfolio. And the Fed could continue to raise interest rates until they crash the economy. Do you know who are the only ones that are not afraid? The ones who are invested in gold with Noble Gold Investments. Gold is the most stable asset outside of any government control. Thousands have approached Noble Gold Investments to get their hands on gold. Hurry and go to bullboomgold.com to secure your wealth now. Bag a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with each gold or silver IRA if you qualify. Go to bullboomgold.com. That's bullboomgold.com. The link is also in the description of this video.
Now, before we proceed on to some other news, I want to bring you a comment from someone right here on this channel. This is from St. Maurice. Let me put it up right here. And I kind of hope he's joking, but something tells me he's not joking. This is not really something that somebody would joke about. I'm moving into my storage unit. No joke. So obviously he's making a point that it's not a joke. Somebody replied to him. Adam said, maybe get a van. Yeah, and I tried to put a little positive spin on it here. Safer than a tent on the sidewalk and cheaper than a van. Sorry to hear this, though. Even the cost of storage units. I was looking at one a few years ago when I was moving my parents out of their house. And I couldn't believe how small of a unit you get for like $200 a month. So if you're living in a storage unit, I mean, yeah, I'd say it's one step up from a tent on the sidewalk. Probably a little bit safer. At least you could close the door down and lock it. It's sad. It's sad to have to read any comment like that on this channel, and it's sad to see these tents on the sidewalk as I drive to work, as I'm driving around town. And but it was all expected. This is what happens when you have this type of money madness, where they're just trying to print their way into prosperity, or print their way out of financial collapse. The reason we're in this is because of money printing. Money printing gives I think a false sense of security, a false sense of wealth. Of course, when people take on debt, that's a wealth illusion. But it has to end at some point. These rock bottom interest rates that we've seen over 10 years now, there's going to be a price to pay for it. There's going to be a big price. And an example like this right here. Now let's try to lighten things up a little bit. I'm real sorry to hear about that, St. Maurice. Hopefully you're in a warm place, because trying to keep a storage unit heated, not going to be easy. So my prayers go out to you. Next thing, let's bring up a meme right here. And this is silly on the surface when you read it, kind of funny, maybe not funny, depending on how serious you want to take this stuff. But this is what the situation really is when you think about it. This is what's happening with the banks. Need money. This is the person from the bank saying this. Need money to make loans to people who need money. So banks are failing. The banks don't have money to loan out because too many people withdrew their money out of the bank. And this is, true with all banks. So as soon as enough people at one time decide to pull the money out, the bank is insolvent. And even the big mega banks, same situation right there. Of course, they're not going to be allowed to fail. So seems like if you have a job at one of those banks, you'd be safe. But I've been hearing some people working for some pretty big banks saying that some weird stuff's going on, how they're being really strict on the goals and the metrics and what they want you to do at the job, making some people that I've spoken with feel like they're trying to push people out or encourage people to quit, likely to have the company avoid paying unemployment benefits. If somebody quits, then the company's not on the hook for paying unemployment. So I've been hearing more stories about how bosses and managers are becoming more unrealistic and more strict on the goals and the types of things and the sales goals that people have to meet, things like that, right? So have you noticed anything like that at your company? I'd really like to know. I'd like to hear from you. I talk to people every day in my line of work and have to ask them about their income. I work in the financial sector, so I have to ask people about their income and kind of get into that realm with people. So I am hearing a lot of these types of stories just in my day-to-day interactions with people. Let's talk about layoffs. Every day there's new layoffs being announced. Here's a recent headline, NBC, CNBC. Jenny Craig warns of mass layoffs. These are the weight loss centers, or it's a weight loss program or something like that. So Jenny Craig is trimming the fat in their workforce. I know that's a bad joke. Jenny Craig layoffs. Company warns employees as it seeks a buyer. Jenny Craig tells staffers it's winding down its weight loss centers and warns of mass layoff. Also, Business Insider is reporting that Shopify workers brace for more layoffs ahead of second quarter earnings. So could it be that people in the company see what the earnings are going to be in this second quarter here? We still have a couple months to go before it's over, but it looks like the writing may be on the wall and they're deciding to lay people off. We don't have numbers out of that yet, but we'll certainly keep you updated on that one as soon as we find out. All right, bottom line, people, humans, is prepare for the worst. And I try to prepare for the worst. I get canned goods. I have extra canned goods here, probably about 3 or 4 months, which is not much, but I've got a few people in my family, so it's kind of a lot of food to keep everybody fed. Still thinking about buying a motorhome, not because I think I'm going to lose my job tomorrow. I just like to have something there as a backup. So what if I lose my job, and what if I can't pay the the mortgage? And maybe I'd have to rent out my residence. Maybe I'd have to live in a storage unit. I'd rather get a motorhome than live in a storage unit. Get a nice motorhome for like $100,000. Your payments on it would be a lot less than you would pay in rent somewhere. The problem is trying to find a place to park it. All those things that go along with mobile living, so to speak. I hope it never gets to that. And I don't think it's going to. But at the same time, if you want to prepare for the worst, those are the kind of things you have to think about. I did a video, I think last month, talking about I'm preparing to lose my job. Not that that's imminent. I haven't got any announcements out of my company of any layoffs. But I wouldn't be surprised if I got the announcement next week. So therefore, I think, I need to prepare to lose my job, even though I haven't, heard that things are headed that direction yet, right? So maybe it's doom and gloom, maybe it's negative, or is it just being ready, being prepared for the worst, right? So some people like to keep their head in the sand. They like to just play video games and not think about these things. That was me before I had kids. Something about having kids really made me start looking at the world, with more of a critical eye and watching this economy, right? So I didn't have any interest at all before I had kids, really, now that I think about it. So maybe that was kind of the thing, I just want this to be a better place for kids, not just my kids, but for kids in general. Humans, that's going to be all for this report. I hope you guys liked it. Please let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Are you seeing any added pressures or unrealistic goals at your job? I've been hearing that from multiple people. So I'd like to hear from you if you've seen that or if you've heard about this yourself. Very interesting stuff, in my opinion. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Happy Saturday. Keep stacking. Bye for now. Big love. Peace.